Okay, one of the questions that I get the most is what's the best type of drumming education for me? Self-taught, in-person lessons, or online drumming courses like mine, for example? It really all depends. Self-taught is really cool, but oftentimes the progress is obviously really slow because you just don't quite know what to practice and you don't have that kind of structured learning plan. There's not someone sort of looking over you, or if you're not mindful enough to sort of keep your technique in check, you can sort of develop bad habits. So self-taught's cool. A lot of the best drummers in the world are self-taught, but I wouldn't really recommend it. In-person lessons are really cool, especially if you've got a drum teacher that's great at what they do and understands your learning style and can tailor the curriculum to what you're into and your strengths and weaknesses as well. The problem with in-person lessons sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, is that some teachers are more players. They're not actual teachers and they don't quite have that, that mindset on how to get the best out of students. So if you are definitely leaning towards in-person lessons, don't be afraid to sort of, shop around and try some different teachers and just sort of see what each teacher brings to the table and their strengths and weaknesses, That's really important. The reason why I suggest online courses like mine, I run D.I.Y Drumming Online, which is a course for beginners, is basically if they're done correctly, they're going to have multiple camera angles. And if they're done with a good teacher as well, comes back to having a good teacher, the lesson content and the learning intentions are going to be explained really thoroughly. So for example, with my course, D.I.Y Drumming Online, not only do you have each lesson where I'm demonstrating the learning intentions, you also have a practice play along video for each lesson as well. So that's just a 5-minute video of me playing the exercise that I'm teaching on a loop at a slow tempo. So you can literally play along with me to develop your timing and your confidence. And then from there, you can obviously practice on your own. And a lot of the online courses will do a similar sort of thing as well. The other cool thing about online courses like mine and a lot of the other ones too, is that they have on-screen notation that's usually animated. So as you're playing, the notes will be getting highlighted so you can actually watch the notation in real time as your instructor's playing along and as you're playing along, which is really helpful because that's one thing that I always struggled with back in the day was that, I'm sort of trying to read the drum music and I'm sort of going cross-eyed because it's just a bunch of little dots and, things like that. So that was a little bit difficult for me and it's difficult for a lot of other students as well. Why my course really stands out, we use a proprietary patent pending drum letter note system, which is something that I invented back in 2011. And it basically uses a letter system that correlates to the name of each drum. So B for bass drum, H for hi-hat, S for snare drum. The actual beats and the notation is written out the same way as normal notations. Over the many years that I've been teaching that system, every single student has responded really positively to that. So they haven't found it overwhelming. It's very easy to actually read the letters instead. So anyway, definitely consider an online course. There's heaps of them out there. Once again, D.I.Y Drumming Online for beginners only. That's all I specialize in, is developing beginners skill sets, which is great. So yeah, just consider that. But either way, as long as you have a teacher that really cares about your progress, that's when you're going to see the best results.